Good afternoon. Today is the 25th of June and this is Yattendon near Thatcham in Berkshire and their Classic Vehicle Day. This event is far bigger than I expected it to be. There will be multiple parts of this Slightly Shambolic Shuffle around the event. I do apologise if I get things wrong, which happens all the time, if I fall over, if there are announcements, if there's wind noise. I'm afraid it's just the way that it goes on this channel. If you don't like any of that, just stop watching now. 1965, Vauxhall Cresta. I think this is the PB Cresta from memory. Some of these had a 2.6 litre engine. I think this is the later facelifted one with a 3.3. It looks very different from the PA Cresta, which had, you know, all these sort of curves on it. This is a much more kind of restrained style. But it's very sort of period with, you know, the contrasting roof and the, I think there's a red vinyl seats. Could be leather, I'm not sure. But you don't see many of them. Vauxhalls and so many other cars of the day had a really bad reputation for rust, and well, the Crestas weren't any exception to that. First of many Triumph Stags, I imagine. This one's got wire wheels. This would be a Mark II. That piece of paper, unfortunately, is sort of flapping around, so I can't read it. Oh yeah, it's 76. It's a Mark II. It's got the beige interior. I don't think I've seen too many Stags with a beige interior. A manual gearbox. It's got the body coloured panel on the back, which designated to be a very late one actually. And of course, having driven a Stag, an automatic Stag, quite recently, I quite liked it. Buick Roadmaster. I don't exactly know what year this is. Someone's left an information board there, but we'll take a look inside before we have a look at that. The Parco Mat. I think that's probably an air conditioning system. It's 30 degrees today, so I think that's probably something that you might be using. There we go. 55 Buick Roadmaster 4-door sedan, 5.3 litre V8 producing 236 horsepower. Probably need all that to make something that size, don't you? Chevy Astro van here, and there's a vehicle data sheet which was going to help me because I don't know anything about American cars really, viewers, so there we go. 1995, the 4.3 V6 Vortec and two Eagles, a little Eagle friend inside there, and then we've got another one on the hood. First of many, no doubt, Mark 1 and Mark II Escorts we're going to see today. 77, 76 on an R pre-facelift one. Mexico badging. It does look nice. Let's have a look at the interior whilst we're here. There we go. Problem with these is that there's more actually within the database now than they made, so at least some of them aren't real Mexicos. This looks pretty real to me though. Singer Vogue, 1966. This is the 1275cc one. Now, we saw a Vogue the other day at Barron's Classic Car Auctions, an earlier one with a 1.6 engine. You can see the rear window treatment on this is completely different. It's not got the curvy rear window anymore. It's just some kind of very conventional one. And something we might see a lot of today as well, the Splitty. 1965. Volkswagen Type 2 with the split windscreen, right-hand drive. That'll be worth a fair bit, won't it, these days, viewers? Ford Zodiac Mark II. I don't know exactly what year this one will be. It'll be like this other Zodiac here, some point between about 56 and 62. I can never remember with these what the low-line and the high-line versions are and what the difference is. I have absolutely no idea. I can never tell them apart. All I can say is both of these kind of look very similar, so they are of the earlier or later type, and I don't know the difference, so don't ask. I just know they look nice. I'm particularly drawn to this one because the colour scheme looks so terribly late 50s. It's got the sort of matching interior in two-tone as well. I wonder if we'll see any more of those. Another classic Ford here, V8 Pilot. Now these were made both pre and post-war. This looks like it's got a reproduction tax disc here, so since it says 1949, I'll assume it's around then. These were the predecessors really to the Iota range of Consul, Zephyr and Zodiacs, and they look very different. Obviously there's a generation between one of those and one of these, but they did certainly progress quickly. This looks like an Austin A30 to me. The rear window is very small, so I think it's probably an A30. The 4-door models seem to be rarer than the 2-door models these days. Also the grille is a different type on these. Another splitty here, 1965. Another right-hand drive. Oh look, I think someone is going to sell this. As Mr. Bill from the Fuel Power channel says, this could be yours. Fully restored in 2012, called Derek on 07836692459. Let's take a look at the interior whilst we're here. Well gosh, it's all been done, hasn't it? Look at this. That looks like quite an expensive restoration job to me, dears. Yeah, very nice. So this isn't a Morris Minor, it's a Morris Oxford pickup. Is this one that's kind of similar to the Henderson Ambassador? Yes, it is. So this will be from the mid-50s. I was correct about my assumption about these Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escorts viewers. In fact, here is another one. This is a later one. It's got the facelifted grille on it. 79 to 80 registration. That's a 1600 Sport, not a Mexico or anything. They look similar, don't they? This 205 has been modified with purple wheels and a roll cage, so it looks very purposeful. Purposeful purple. This is the 1.6. Some people like the 1.6, some people like the 1.9s. I don't suppose it matters too much. They're equally wonderful. 2010 Caterham 7. Wonder if you've got any badging on here. We've got a Saint logo. I was watching the Saint the other day actually. I was watching an episode called Well-Meaning Mare from 1963. No, I'm not sure. Land Rover Series 288, 1959. But Series 2s as opposed to Series 2As are quite rare. It's because they only made them for about 2 years. The 2A came in 61 and lasted till 71 with the Series 3 that came in after that. Gosh, people are leaving already. I better sort of go as fast as I can really today. Some kind of American pickup. I'm not sure actually what this is. It's Chevy. Early 50s, probably not standard engine or anything anymore, but it's not a surprise. Very, very nice sort of restoration on that though. Very high quality. Goodness me, W114 Mercedes. I think you thought this is one before anyway. It's a late one of this type. It's just a 200. It's the base model with a manual gearbox. So it's just before the BW123 came in. B sort of 75, 76. Then Austin 7 sort of special. This is the kind of thing actually that Lotus originally made. This sort of Colin Chapman built specials based on Austin 7s, as many people did after the war. That's how the company got going, so something like this. Then Jaguar Mark II, of course. This one is a 3.4 litre in this lovely dark green with a beige leather interior and wood. I do like a nice beige leather interior, viewers, and it hasn't been too long before we found one. And of course it's in the Jaguar. I'm not so keen on the black wire wheels. Wire wheels on one of these is fine. Not so keen on the black ones, but the engine looks very nice. Yeah, 3.4, 3.8, it's really down to your preference as to what you think is the best. Right, we better be careful about this. This looks suspiciously like it's an MGC rather than a B. The way we can tell is, yeah, it's got the chrome strip up there, so the bonnet is different. These didn't actually sell particularly well because the engine's very heavy. It's a 2.9 straight 6 as opposed to the 1.84 cylinder that was in most of the Bs, and it was a bit faster, but it didn't handle particularly well, so they actually discontinued after just 2 years. This is a 68-69. You can see, compared with the MGB that was an 81 that I drove, it is quite different in here. In fact, here is a rubber bumper to compare it with. This time it's a GT. This is a Vermilion, I think, this colour. 78-9 on a T, with actually the original steering wheel, which is unusual. Most of them have had the wheels changed in them by now, and we've still got the bumpers on there, which is great. Triumph GT6 Mark III, 1972 to 73. These only lasted till 73, and they kept changing the suspension, you know, back and forth and back and forth. Eventually they discontinued them. I can't remember what actually they replaced us with. Probably the MGB GT V8 in a sort of funny way. But I do like these. It's the same platform as the Spitfire and the Herald and the Vitesse. As you can see, it's got that lovely straight 6 Triumph engine. And then Mark II Volkswagen Golf. I don't actually think this is a GTI. What is it? Sort of say there? Is it just a Wolfsburg logo? I think that's just the Wolfsburg logo on there. We'll look at the back and we'll see if there's any information. It might just be like a sort of base Golf, like a C or a CL or something. There we go, people are leaving. This 1966 Mustang is leaving. I'm going to have to just keep going, aren't I, viewers? Don't know about the wheels on this, not really me, but never mind. Another MGB here, of course. This one is, I think, a 71 because they changed the grille back to looking like that around then, unless the grille's actually been changed over. It could have been. Oh wait, this has got a beige leather interior too, viewers. I like that. Again, the interior is so different from the later ones, it's amazing. I can't believe you can still pick these up for, well, not very much money actually, like under £5 in some cases for an MGB. Corvette C2 Stingray, I think, this one. 1965 on a C. I think that's Nassau Blue, from memory. Ford Sierra Sapphire RS Cosworth. 1988-9 registration. Yeah, we got the correct steering wheel, I think. Still got cloth seats in this one. That looks quite standard actually. It's got a modified exhaust, but other than that, I think the wheels are slightly different, but that's actually looking quite sort of standard. 1971-2 Rover 2000. Still got the strip speedo and all that sort of stuff that the lower specification P6s had. If I take my glasses off, I might just see the colour a bit better. That I think is blaze red. Could be wrong. I have driven a Rover 2000, but it was a 67 automatic. It was the pre-facelift one. Another MGC here, 67-68 registration. I like this colour. I also like this piping on these seats. That's pretty good, isn't it? I don't even have to demonstrate the difference between the Roadster and the GT because we've seen both of them now. Jaguar, I think this is a D-type replica from memory. It won't be a real one because I probably wouldn't be in a show like this if it was a real one. Doesn't matter though, it looks great. Reliant Scimitar. This one is 77-78 on an S. I'm not allowed to make the association that people say about these. I will not be saying it. Instead, we'll be looking at the fact that this has got the S6 V6. Is it a manual or an auto, this one? That's an auto, a lot of them were. And next to it, I suppose one of the temporary rival sports cars, a Triumph, I think this is a TR8. It does say 3.5 litre on the side of it, so I'm pretty sure it's not a standard TR7. We can see in there that it's definitely not the Slant 4. There we go, and there's the original purchase invoice. Yeah, it's a TR8. Still built at Canley by this stage. The Solihull ones have a different boot lock. Again, a car that I've driven. TR6 I've not driven. Not driven a TR6. 1971 TR6. Oh, there we go. This is quite an extensive sort of folder about things, and it looks very nice. Does it say in there if we've still got the original fuel injection on there? No, it hasn't. It's got Mammox 5 seats in it. They're probably a bit more comfortable with the original Triumph seats. That does look rather nice, like the wheels. More sort of custom type stuff here. Another one of these Chevy pickups. This would be around 1960 or so. Oh, the driver's got mobility issues. He's got a steering wheel ball on there. Interesting. And we've got Ford Popular that's been modified. I'm not sure there are any standard Populars left at this rate, really. Oh, sorry, it's an Anglia from the Popular. The Populars were a bit later. 37 Ford with an enormous big air intake on the top and a modified interior. Something a bit more sort of sublime here. 1964 Austin Healey 3000 with, I think, the original gearbox in it. That's a Mark III. I think the Mark III was the last type made when they discontinued them about 1967. Triumph 2000, the Innsbruck facelifted type. It's also got a heritage certificate. We'll take a look at that. So it's a 73. Registered very close to here. It's a Berkshire plate on this. I really would like to have a go in a 2000. I've driven a Stag, but 2000 would be nice. I prefer the look of the earlier ones, actually, personally, but this is also good. Abarth 124 Spider 2018, based on the ND MX-5 or the current MX-5. This one's an auto. There's actually quite a lot of these in automatic form. I think these are actually more common than the standard Fiat form. I have driven one of those, and it's pretty good, to be honest. They're going up in value a lot, because they didn't make them for very long. Ford Capri Gear Mark III. Interesting covers on the headlamps. It's got the vinyl roof, so I presume it is a gear. The interior certainly looks like it is. Yeah, 3 litre gear. Don't know what year this is. Before about 1981. It's a manual as well. Excellent. That's good. Capri 280, 1987 to 8 plate, but this would have been made in 1986. These are very, very sought after now. Incredibly sought after now. They weren't actually that well received at the time. I mean, they were special, but they weren't special enough that everybody wanted to buy them, which is why you see them anything up to a G plate. There is a G plate Capri 280 Brooklands. This is on an E. Would have been registered significantly after it was made. Slightly earlier Capri here, 2.8 injection. I think this is a special. You can see the wheels are quite similar on both of these. 5-speed, of course, by this stage. I do like Mark III Capri's views. I have driven one. It was a very early 2.8 injection with a 4-speed gearbox. So the P6 is leaving there. I'm going to have to keep moving. Ooh. Another Mark III Capri, this time with the Cologne V6, but it's got a turbo as well. There is room to put things like that in because it's massive engine bay. When the car was first engineered in the 60s, it was anything from 1.3 to 3 litres, and of course you could get more in something like an RS 3100. This one with the Chevy badge on before I have seen previously. It's an S, but it's a 5.7, it's got a Chevy engine in it. And it's been significantly changed from whatever was in it before. I imagine this was probably something like a 2 litre S, It's had a different gearbox put in it actually as well. It's not the Type 9 anymore. Significantly more power with 5.7 litres. It's demonstrated again that it's actually quite easy to fit a very large engine into a Capri engine bay. Jensen Healey, 1972-73, with the Lotus engine this will have. I haven't seen one in this sort of condition for quite some time, actually. Can't remember what gearbox in that. It's a 4-speed. I can't remember what gearbox that was actually. It's sort of like different bits. There's Vauxhall bits in here. There's Lotus engine. Somebody could tell me in the comment section below what gearbox these use. I'd be very grateful. Triumph TR5 with the fuel injection, very late one actually on a G. The TR6 came in early '69, so this is 68, 69. It's quite a late one. Another TR5 here, a little bit earlier, 67, 68 registration. I like this colour. That's pretty good. We've got the sort of mini light or mini light style wheels on this, and luggage rack. And someone's very sensibly put a disc lock on there because you just never know what's going to happen to your car, do you? Morris Meyer Traveller, Viva 1098 CC1 on an H, so 69 to 70 registration. And a very standard looking interior, but oh, we've got a Ford Type 9 gearbox in there. Probably from the Sierra. They're quite difficult to get hold of those now, so there are other that was annoying. I have had to stop because the camera overheated, but yeah, we'll move on from that minor with a Type 9 gearbox, and we will go and have a look at this Lotus Elan Sprint. This is a 72, and it's got the 1.6 Lotus twin cam engine with 126 horsepower. Excellent. It looks good, this. I like the fact that these original wheels have been kept on it as well. Yeah. Gosh, are those the old Morris Marina door handles inside there? Wow. Catch this Citroen DS before it leaves. I really hope this camera doesn't keep overheating, because I'm going to have to switch to another one if it does. So that's a DS23 with electronic fuel injection and left-hand drive, 7273. Also got this Land Rover Series 1 here. This one has actually been locally owned for most of its life, and it was restored relatively locally by the local garage in Yattendon, so that's interesting. Really not much to these at all. There's nothing to them. It's the most basic of basic things you can imagine. Then we've got another Stag here. I think this is an early Mark II, judging by the stripes on the side. 73, 74 plate. BMW 5 Series here. This is the E28 from memory. 86, 87 registration. I like this colour. This looks in very nice condition. It's a 528i, which is kind of just down, I think, from the 535i. That would be the next one. Cobra replica here on the Q plates. That looks like a Ford Escort Mark IV door handle on there. So I don't know what year that is. It'll be one of the probably popular kits. There's loads of kits of these. Oh, a Lancia Fulvia Series 2. Yes, please. This is the 1.3S. Lloyd Vehicle Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. Yes, I'm going to have to change cameras in a bit, viewers. This is just ridiculous. So yeah, Lancia Fulvia, be about 71. left-hand drive. Most of them are at the moment. There are some right-hand drive ones, but they're quite rare. One of my favourite cars actually is a Lancia Fulvia. I'd like to drive one day. Another Peugeot 205 GTI, 1993-1994 registration. One of the very last actually probably imported to this country. I think this is Miami Blue. It's a 1.9. That would be quite valuable, I think. So another one of these Fulvias. This one is right-hand drive and it's the Zagato type. I think this is a nice car, but I just think the original Fulvia Coupe looks better than this. It's just my opinion, but I prefer the look of the original one to this. It's still a great car though. Don't know what year that is. Another Morris Minor here, of course, on a C 1965. It's post the October 64 revision, which then changed the steering wheel. Actually, that looks very, very sort of original spec. MGB GT V8, 73-74 plate. Quite expensive now. Original wheels as well, actually, on this, and a very 70s looking interior, sort of brown one. That is rather nice. And we've got a Roadster next to it, but with the Rose style wheels, 72-73 registration. Do we have a fish mouth grille on this one, or do we not? No, it's not got the fish mouth grille. It's later than that. Another Series 1 Land Rover here, local to Berkshire as well, like the other one. That one's been beautifully restored, hasn't it? Chevrolet Corvette Stingray 1977. Probably like a 32 Ford Coupe or something. I'm hopeless on these hot rod type things, like this one. That's probably a 32 Ford or something like that as well. I know what this is though. 1965 Ford Mustang. California plates. Take a look inside the interior, and this sort of green. Automatic transmission on this one. Right, I think that's enough for part one. I better go back and get my other camera. It's a bit overheating. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video in the comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more incorrect information.